Is living in the city of Houston dangerous? In this video, I'm gonna give my brutally honest opinion of what I think about living in the city. Hi, my name is Aaron Lathan, and I'm a realtor in the greater Houston area, and every week I'm helping buyers relocate to and throughout the city of Houston. So if you wanna know anything about where to eat, sleep, live, play, I'm your guy. Hit me up morning, noon, or night. Feel free to shoot me a text, give me a DM, shoot me an email, hit me on any of my social medias, whatever you have to do to get in touch with me, reach out to me. My number is gonna be somewhere on the screen, and all that information of how to get in touch with me is gonna be in the description. But yeah, get in touch with me. Like I said, I'm your guy. Morning, noon, and night. Don't hesitate to shoot me a text, hit me with a call. Anything that you need, I got you covered in the city of Houston. So, is living in the city of Houston dangerous? And I would say it can be, right? Any place that you live, any big city, specifically any big city, has the potential to have a lot of people from different backgrounds and different ways of life living there. And when you have that difference of lifestyle and especially socioeconomic differences, you have the potential for there to be issues, right? In the city of Houston, I can say I've been here 5 or 6 years now. My wife and I have been here 5 or 6 years now. We're raising our daughter here, so we love the city of Houston. It has not scared us away, but it does not mean that it is not a dangerous place. And there's a couple things that kind of occur a lot, right? So we live, and I don't want to say this is like for everywhere in Houston, but for everywhere that we have lived in areas that are close to the city. They're more urban, they're closer to the hub and the heart of the city. And in places where that's affordable, that typically means that things are transitioning, or just being brutally honest, are being gentrified. And so there's issues where I live that maybe some other people wouldn't. But I would caution you to say this. I live in the Independence Heights, Shepherd Park Plaza kind of area, just north of the Loop. It's a super great area that's transitioning right now. It's a historically Black and brown community where there's some townhomes and some new homes being built, and they're bringing in young, fresh faces like myself to try to increase some of the values in those areas. And there's things that I deal with up there that many of my clients would never have to deal with in the suburbs, right? There's issues that come up out by us specifically that my clients in the suburbs would likely never have to deal with. And like the other day, there was literally, me and my wife were giving my baby a bath. We're going through our normal nighttime routine, and we just hear pop, 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 like in rapid succession. And we're just like, what was that, right? What was that going on in our neighborhood? Now, we live in a community that is kind of tucked off of one of the main streets in the kind of Independence Heights, Shepherd Park Plaza area, where it's some mixed uses. There used to be some trailer parks on one end. There's some apartments on our street. There's a few apartments on our street. And then there's the residential side of the street that's closer to the more expensive part of my neighborhood. So it's kind of a mix. You can have, if you go one way, you're going to $1 million houses. If you go another way, you're going down to like, a tire shop, a car wash, and apartments. So it's a really mixed street with the no zoning that we basically have in the city of Houston. And so we're going through our normal day, and we hear that. And right, come to find out, there was literally a drive-by on our little intersection street. Crazy to me, right? Literally a drive-by, walking distance from us. And I can say that that's not the first occurrence of gunshots that we've heard in our neighborhood. In the comfort of our home, we have a really nice home. It's brand new. We just bought it a couple years ago. We're shooting up in value. So that's the positives and the pluses of actually living in the area that's gentrifying or transitioning. But there's things that we deal with that, like I said, my clients that chose the suburbs will never have to deal with. I doubt that any of my clients that moved to Katy or Pearland or any of those great areas up here in the Champion Forest, Klein area that I'm touring the house in today, I'm doubting that my clients that have moved here or moved into those areas will ever have to worry about witnessing or seeing a drive-by or hearing a drive-by be so close to them. Now, that's not to say that these areas don't have their issues. When you get to the suburbs, the issues that many of my clients kind of, report to me or come back to me asking me for guidance are kind of like neighbor issues. Whether it be political issues or people just kind of being nosy and people wanting to be particular about basically like being HOA wardens here, right? That's the kind of issues that you typically have in the suburbs, but there's things that you just will never deal with. To get to the point, the city of Houston can be dangerous. And if you look at your Ring app, basically anywhere, you can see it going off. Now, where we are, like I said, we're just north of one of the most prominent areas in the city of Houston. We're in the Independence Heights, Shepherd Park, Plaza, Garden Oaks side, just north of the Loop, which is just north of the Heights, which, like I said, is one of the most desirable areas. And we're tied basically to the Heights on my Ring radius. So within a mile or two of me, I get all the alerts, right? Now, people of Houston will be like, oh, the Heights is a much safer area, right? The Heights is more established, it's more of a buzzword. They have businesses that have moved in, and there's restaurants and yoga studios and high dollar places that are there, $1 million homes, $500,000 homes there. But people that are native to Houston or have been here a little bit longer than I have, because I'm not a native, will tell me that basically the Heights did what the Independence Heights area is doing, 10, 20 years ago, right? So it was a transition from basically where people start moving in, builders start being able to acquire land and build up the area. And now that new faces are in, that the values are what they are, right? So I say all that to say, I would not be fooled by any of the areas and just be like, is it safe? Is it anything? This is such a huge city, and things can go crazy super fast because, like I said, there's no zoning and there's a high probability that you're gonna be located near or within a mile or two of something that is, because of the no zoning, that is not like yours, right? So if you buy a $500,000 house and you're not in the deep suburbs somewhere, if you're not in an established Katy, Pearland, Cypress, Sharon, any of those suburbs that I actually have a lot of clients in that I love, if you're not in one of those places, you're gonna be rubbing shoulders with people that, may or may not be in the same place in life with you. And with the opportunity to rub shoulders with different people that may be in a worse place in life than you are at that point in time, and you being an opportunity, there may be the potential anywhere that you live in the city of Houston to have issues. I wrap all that up to say is that my wife and I have been here 5 or 6 years, and we've only had one issue, and it wasn't even that bad. We were living in an apartment in the Midtown area. We had just moved to the Midtown area. It was a little bit older apartment. I think I've talked about this before. The one that kills me, basically, the one that killed me on my utilities. I was paying like $200 a month for an 800 square foot apartment just because it was old and inefficient. But there were some other things maintenance-wise that were a struggle. So their gate was always broken, and you could kind of always just walk into the gate without the clicker. There was an incident where there was a homeless guy and his pit bull sleeping in our elevator because, again, the gate was open, and that was just kind of what happened, right? So we had that incident with the homeless guy and the pit bull that was literally sleeping in our elevator, in our like elevator foyer. And the second thing, my wife, I'll take that back, 2 things. My wife had a break into her car. They didn't break glass. They didn't even take anything. They literally looked like they were looking for something, maybe didn't find what they wanted to find, and they literally just left her car door open. They ramshacked all of our like actual neighbors, I guess, that had things in their cars and their vehicles next to ours. We got off lucky, but those are literally the only 2 things that we've had. In every place that we've lived outside of that first place in the energy corridor, that was more of a suburb vibe, we've been in the mix the whole time, right? And so there's always been things around us. And we're always just kind of cognizant. Also, we're from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and one of the worst, we grew up in one of the worst zip codes in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, as far as crime and murders and all that stuff. So I think we just have like an elevated sense of, oh, that don't seem right. Let's get the hell on from out of here. Like, that's just our vibe, and that's always been our vibe. And honestly, it's been working for us. We know the signs. We can tell when things are kind of shifting, when the mood is kind of shifting, and we just kind of move on, right? So overall, I would say Houston is not so dangerous to where I wouldn't consider making it home. It's such a great place to have opportunities. There's so much jobs. There's so much opportunities. There's so much expansion for growth. You know, there's so much infrastructure here to start a business, relocate for a new job, for work, what have you. It's such a great city. But anywhere that you basically live in the city, you're going to basically rub shoulders with people at different stages of life than you. And that's some of the spice that actually gives the city, you know, some of this flavor. And the things that I love is that you can see so many different cultures and backgrounds within the city. But you kind of have to come into it with the understanding that not everybody is going to be at the same place in life that you are. And that has the potential, if you're not careful, to be a situation where it could create a dangerous situation for you. So that's the end of the video today. If you have any questions at all, feel free to hit me up morning, noon, or night. Like I said, I'm helping buyers relocate to and throughout the city of Houston, matching their lifestyle with where they want to live. If you have any questions at all, feel free to hit me up any morning, noon, or night. Shoot me with a text, DM, email, social media, any way that you got to get in touch with me. Feel free to do so. Hit me up. I'm your guy. Morning, noon, or night, I'm here for you. If you have any questions at all, just hit me up. And if you liked the video today, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm helping people, like I said, every week. I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day.